at the West London Art Factory, set up to develop and expose both emerging and established artists. Tonight is specifically about contemporary urban art. So let's go upstairs and find out what's going on. How did you get involved with the factory project?
Basically, I've just built a music studio with my partner Felix Milton in the actual complex.
Oh, okay.
So we've been doing it for like the last 4 months, and over the last 4 months we've just got to know all this lot really, really well. And what we're trying to do is sort of fuse art and music and like do as many projects together as possible. And this came up, so for this show, I've got one piece in the show that I've started doing.
Well, talk specifically about your piece then.
Well, what it is it's a door covered in 27 years worth of stickers that I've collected over 27 years. And I saw some.
Did they used to be still on the backing and you've had to...
Yeah, they're
Did
mostly,
that hurt?
No, not really, I don't really care. Mostly they're really sort of valuable skateboard stickers from sort of 1986 onwards.
Oh.
And it's just reached a point where I have to part with it and I just have to end the obsession, you know. So yeah, I've put it in the show just to sort of see what the reaction is and what people think. And I'm due to be DJing in about 15 minutes.
This is George, aka Buko.
Yeah, I've got a couple of pieces. It's each one is individually spray painted backgrounds and then a hand-pulled silk screen print on top of it, and there's about 3 different colourways and a couple of different sizes going on.
And what's your inspiration?
Well, I kind of wanted to look at beauty and hate, basically what's happening in the world at the moment, you know, with the violence, and it's such a regular image to see people, children even, you know, with guns, and particularly the AK-47. It's like the guerrilla weapon of choice because it's so readily available. Mm-hmm. So I kind of took that and wanted to make something that made people question and what the gun itself means. It means power. So within it I put the sky, and I've hidden a master in there. So sort of questions upon God and whether he's the master, is the gun the master.
Yeah.
But also it's quite an angelic piece as well. It almost looks like a halo. So it's sort of offering out questions to people rather than giving them an answer to anything. So that's how I like to kind of do my work. Yeah.
I'm here with Cosmo, you're exhibiting here tonight.
I am, yeah.
Talk to us a bit about your piece.
Well, I've got a couple of paintings of riot police and a couple of prints of riot police that were inspired by the student riots initially, and then as the riots after Mark Duggan unfolded, I then continued the theme, and I'm exploring, I don't know, I guess it's sort of violence and fluorescent colours are very prominent in the paintings as well.
What medium do you use?
I'm traditionally trained as a painter, so I'm an oil painter originally.
And how did you get involved with the factory project?
How did I get involved with the factory project? I think I might have phoned up thinking it was someone else, and it was completely random.
I'm now here with Naomi. Now you're doing live art at tonight's event.
Yeah.
Nervous?
Kind of. First live paint, so
And
I didn't know.
why are you doing a live paint?
Because I didn't finish my piece in time for the exhibition.
And it's a portrait of Biggie?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm doing a series of rap artists at the moment, so he's my first. So there's going to be a continuation of them.
So I'm assuming you're a big rap fan.
Yeah, I would say so.
So who's next on the list?
Bob Marley. No, Biggie. and then Bob Marley, and then Ice Cube.
So I'm here with Andrew. You probably recognise him from Coronation Street most recently.
Probably, yes.
But what are you doing now?
Looking at art in a basement in London. It's great. I'm just about to start a play about Brian Epstein, the Beatle manager, which we're going to do in Liverpool and New York. And then I'm doing, of course, after a soap, I'm doing pantomime. But it's
Why not?
I've always been sort of dual-based, working in London for 7 years on the bill, and then been back up north.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yes, of course. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, rest in happy peace. It was great fun. And so I've always been dual-based. I've got a place up north and a place down here, and you get invited to lots of different things. And so far I've managed to keep my checkbook in my pocket, so my wife won't tell me
You've got your eye on there.
There's a couple of pieces up there, yeah, there's some nice stuff, but it's this is one of the things that I miss about London, is events like this, just, you know, happenings that just spring up, you know, and so it's nice to be here.
Now, you usually work in stencil work, is that right?
Correct.
Tonight you're painting live.
Yep.
How's that going?
It went well. I've gone out of my way to kind of elaborate on what I do and try different things, and I'm going to start doing a lot more of sort of painting with paintbrushes, etc. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to do it because I'm doing it live and you can't make a mistake. And you just kind
well,
of...
you can, but you kind of just...
You can, yeah, exactly. I mean, you are kind of... you're winging it a little bit, but that's fine.
Talk to us about the painting you did tonight.
Just Asian girl again, because I'm known for doing Asian paintings. But instead of using stencils, I'm just using acrylics and using different types of paint and different paintbrushes to get roughly the same effect, but just through a different medium.
Well, talking of stencil work, we've got a lovely Jimi Hendrix over here. I'm sure you'll get a shot of it. You mentioned before we did the interview you've done a lot of Jimmy portraits.
Correct.
Why is that?
Yeah. Well, because he's an icon, isn't he? I did that piece a couple of years ago for an exhibition, and it was very well received, and because of that I did a Jimi Hendrix print, which was my first print, and I think I like painting him because of what he stood for and because of the era that he's associated with. You can play with colours and play with texture and play with floral design elements, and that suits the kind of work that I do generally.
And aside from exhibiting your work, why do you think there should be more events like this?
Why? Because there's so many artists out there who don't get the opportunity to exhibit in normal galleries because there's a kind of
Stigma?
Not stigma, it's a closed-off world. You know, the contemporary art world, you either have to be in it or not. The street art world is a different thing. If you get your work up on the streets and people see it and they like it, then they'll generally go out of their way to try and find you and get you invited to these type of shows.
I'm now here with Bianca. You are exhibiting a piece tonight called Dirty Birds.
Yeah.
Talk to us about it. It's a little bit naughty.
It is a little bit naughty. I do like naughty images and going beyond what people actually sort of perceive. Like, you wouldn't really think a girl sort of did that image, but that's how I created it.
Because when I first saw it, I assumed it would be a male artist, and then I looked at the...
Yeah.
I thought, oh, all right, filth.
It's a little bit of filth. A lot of my other sort of concepts are mixing like rib cages, the human form in terms of rib cages, like I said, feet, faces, hands, anything that you can think of with like animal form. So birds, yep. That is sort of my obsession at the moment in time.
My name's Inkie. I'm here at West London Art Factory's factory project down at Red Bull Studios. Part of the team here from our studios is Naomi, who does a lot of the work here. She's been doing the biggie picture over there. Part of them here is we're just doing a new studio there, doing graphics, design, music. We've got drum and bass guys in, all elements of like cultural kind of, you know, creativity, and we're just trying to bring it down here and put a showcase on for it.
Like us, in conjunction with the West London Art Factory, are going to be sort of offering a service where we can do like design, music.
Yeah, it's nice. Jewel does a really good job of kind of putting us all out there and giving us all the kind of good platform to work from.
Jewel has now become a really good friend and a good promoter of my work.
Jewel is the manager of the art factory, and they met in Carnival. And my dad showed them my pictures, and then I started interning for the West London Art Factory, which I did for about a year.
I've always wanted to do an exhibition. I've said this to curators in various galleries and said I think they should do a hang which is called Stolen.
West London Art Factory have, for me anyway, they've showcased a lot of new talent. They obviously like to exhibit people like myself as well.
I do print at the print studio in Acton, so I do know Jewel through that way.
Watch this space. West London Art Factory is going to explode.
I'm now here with Jewel, and you and your husband are the founders of the West London Art Factory.
Yes, we are.
So talk to us a bit about what's gone into making tonight.
A lot of work has gone into tonight. I have put together basically a show with artists that I absolutely love. Some of them I've worked before in the past. This is the third factory project. So the previous two, you know, we've done with some of the artists I've worked, but on this one I've introduced also very new guys, fantastic artists, up and coming ones, at the same time as well established as well. And it's great fun up there by the look of it.
It's a really good night, we're really enjoying it. And what inspired you to first of all set up the West London Art Factory?
I just needed to screen print. Really, truly, I just needed to screen print, and I live in West London. There aren't that many places where you can do that. I was travelling to East London and then decided, you know what, so let's do our own place, and that's how it happened.
And it's just taken off?
It just took it off, mainly because one of the first artists we ended up having in the factory who wanted to screen print as well in West London was Inkie, who has quite a reputation.
Yeah.
He's got quite a following as well, and a lot of people just came to me because of Inkie, because it was quite like, wow, you know, where are those people, how they even know about us, but it was all because of Inkie, and I just took it from there.
And I'm going to put you on the spot, but if you had to choose one piece of art up in tonight's exhibition?
The Storm by Karen Griffiths. It's just because I'm just quite so touched by that piece, yeah. I absolutely love it. But there's not one piece in that show that I don't love. You know?